What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, I know we've talked a lot of stuff about how important this week is with the death cross happening and so many things going on for Bitcoin. We've seen that whale manipulation in the background. I showed you the evidence on the wave edge chart. But in today's video, I have to talk about something that is even crazier than all of the stuff that we've been mentioning for the past week. We are seeing something on the Bitcoin chart that we have literally never seen. And not only is it a historic moment, it's almost like a paradox, like an inconsistency, like a contradiction. I don't even know what to call it. And it is a very, very interesting and exciting time for Bitcoin. And I have to let you guys know about this because literally in the next 24 hours, we are going to have this movement for Bitcoin. And historically speaking, it has been some crazy and wild times after that. So if that sounds good to you, we're going to hop in right now. Let's dive in. So having a look super quick, you will notice that we are still putting in this sort of sideways channel, bull flag, not really technically, but whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, it is a parallel channel. And you could see that we did wick below it a few times here, one time here. But if we actually zoom in, we've been below this now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now. 7 times we've stayed below this. Right now, of course, this is on the 4-hour, but nevertheless, you are noticing that we are getting more of that sort of sell side pressure. Now, something I also want to point out super quick is if we just look at these break areas right here, right? If we draw a line right here, kind of draw a line right here, and then draw a line right here where we are right now, you'll notice that, this is where we sort of have those breaks, right? We come down to the edge, we have that break, and currently right now, we are approaching the end of that apex as well. But here is the craziest thing that I need to show you guys. Now, we have talked about this death cross that has been forming on the Bitcoin chart, and we know that Bitcoin has never, ever had a death cross ever in its history. And this is technically bearish, right? This would mean that price action should most likely fall to the downside. But this is absolutely mind-blowing. I couldn't find the words in the beginning of the video, a paradox, a contradiction. I don't know what to call this, but absolutely crazy. A coincidence, a first-time historic event. Have a look at this, guys. So we know that this is on the weekly. See, I have the weekly up here. So this represents the weekly 50, and this pink line represents the weekly 200. Now watch what happens when I switch this to the daily. Pay close attention. The yellow line is on top, sloping down, and we have the pink line on the bottom, sloping up. Now watch this when I switch to the daily. Guys, it is the complete opposite. On this, we have the 50 crossing above and the pink, which is the 200 daily, acting as potential support. This is what is considered a golden cross. So we have a golden cross on the daily, and we have a death cross on the weekly. We have never seen this in Bitcoin's history ever. This is a first time. So anyone who says that they know how this is going to end, you're lying. You're completely making it up because we've never seen this before. But what we can do is look back historically. What tends to happen after we get these daily crosses? Now, do remember that weekly crosses are more important, okay? They are more important than daily crosses. But nevertheless, let's just plot some out right here so we can see what happens when we have these moves, right? Keep plotting them out, keep plotting them out. So let's just take these last 3 samples, okay? Now, this one right here, you could argue, is similar. Like, we're coming out of a bear market, right? So, well, I'm a little off on the cross. The cross was right here. So look what happened, guys. What happened was the day after the cross, we actually had a massive dump, a 15% dump, right? So this was a fake out. But then what happened? We continued to rally. Now, keep in mind, this was coming out of a bear market, right? Which you could argue maybe is more similar to what we're going through right now. But if we look at some of the past instances, you could also see that, this one, for example, dumped right afterwards, right? Golden cross. Now, look, we did continue to the upside. Was a good move. But what did we do? We dumped right after it, right? And what did we do on this one right here? Well, this one, look what we did again. Look what we did. We had a little bit of a fake out pump for a couple days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We pumped 7%, and then we dumped 14%, only continue all the way to the upside, So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that these are bullish, but they often do trap investors, right? So this, if we just look historically, what this is telling us is that we're either probably going to have one more little move up, and then a massive correction, or we're going to have a massive correction, probably retesting right here, somewhere on this 200, and then having a move to the upside. So essentially what I am telling you is massive, massive volatility ahead. But how unbelievably crazy, guys. We are having a golden cross on the daily, and a death cross on the weekly. This is history in the making, and I told you guys it was going to get exciting, and I don't know about you, but I'm having fun. This is exciting for me. You can see right here, we are having that support, right? We are flipping this area, hopefully, into resistance. Again, this was the area to take the long. Every time we've come down to this level, I've told you guys, this is the area to take the long. This is the area to take the long. If you guys do want to learn how to trade, make sure you watch this tutorial. There are $56,000 in bonuses. Obviously, if we are to have that pump right here, if you didn't get in at the bottom, though, say you're right now, the next stop is around 23,800, and you could put in about a 3.5% on that. Now, if we do break to the downside, if we do get that fake out, then yes, unfortunately, guys, the next target is all the way back down to this range, back down to around 21,000. Now, keep in mind, though, we are getting very, very close to that $25,300 level, and we are probably at this point a little bit overextended. I mean, if you look at just this candle alone, this is one of the largest Bitcoin candles probably since, somewhere back in here in the euphoria. I mean, I can't even find a candle that's as big as this one right here. So it was extremely, extremely euphoric. Now, one thing I just want to point out is if we do kind of zoom in right here, and of course, this is just forming. We don't have confirmation on this just yet, but you are noticing that we're putting in higher highs. And yes, we are technically putting in higher lows, but we're actually starting to form a bit of a megaphone pattern. If you're looking at this, it's getting a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It's a very immature pattern at this point. Please just take this with a grain of salt, but I like to stick ahead of the curve here. And if we do look at these types of formations, this ascending broadening wedge, it does have an 80% chance, as you guys can see right here, 80% of the cases, the exit is bearish, okay? So it doesn't mean it has to happen. It doesn't mean we have to break down, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did, simply because, as I've been saying, we do have this CME futures gap down here. And in order to close that, we have to come down to about $19,990. So, could we have that shot up to here? We have that broadening wedge, and then we come down? That would be a possibility, because that would play in a lot to what we've seen with these daily fake outs. Going back to these crosses, right? Where we have these fake outs, where we have these rallies, right? For example, this one right here, right? What did we do? We had a little fake out, dump, pump, right? And then over here, what did we have? We had a dump, and then sideways, and then into the consolidation. This was really not that exciting, that one. And then this one, pump, dump, and then crazy continuation, right? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is get ready for volatility, and we're going to be using these levels so that we can make these trades. And, the only thing that I was saying yesterday was, and people were like, how is this compared to volume? Guys, I didn't draw these arrows. These are not my arrows. Look. I didn't draw those in there, okay? This is part of an indicator called Wave Edge. You can find it from Team Underground, okay? And you can see right here, it signals big whale buying and big whale selling, okay? And the thing I was trying to point out right here was if we look into this area, this is crazy, crazy whale manipulation right here. That's all I'm saying. If you look right here, look, we had whales. Okay, so we had a pump day and then big whale selling. A pump day, big whale selling. Pump, whale selling. Pump, whale selling, okay? Again. So this happened for 10 days straight. So that to me looks a little bit like distribution. And I would just be careful, because even though we are getting this first wave on the wave edge, just keep in mind, zooming back here, when you do tend to get those first waves, you often, look at this wave. This wave is about, let's say that this is the first wave in a move. So what you get is something like you get right here, right? You're getting this wave here, right? You have this wave here, and you're having this wave over here, and you're having this wave over here. And look what you're having. You're having whales selling. And let's go back over here. Look what you're having, okay? You're having whales selling. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to go down. That doesn't mean price has to go down. Look what price did right here. We came down, we retested, and then we had one more touch. But once we had that, that was the big move to the downside. So I'm not saying that, we're going to go straight down right here. What I am saying is that if we're having a similar move here, we could have this hump, okay? Let me get rid of some of these drawings. This is getting a little messy. So what I'm saying is, we could have... a bit of a thing like right here, where we come down sideways, we close that gap. We have one more test to the upside, okay? Maybe we do breach this, right? Maybe we do break through these levels, and then everybody's like, oh, see, I told you, we're back on to being bullish. And then, what happens, maybe we come all the way up and, close that second gap, and then we roll over, never putting in that higher level, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Just be careful out there, guys, and make sure that you also pay attention to the S&P, because even though the S&P has broken out of this trend, it still has not. You can see right here, we still have to put in. Yes, it has put in a higher on this area. This is good, but this next level right here is extremely critical. So we want to see us get up to about 42.98. So hopefully you guys, I know that was a lot of information. I wanted to get this out quick. It's a lot easier for me to do videos this way. But yeah, just be careful of that death cross. And ultimately at the weekly, we are looking for what happens. And, obviously we don't want to fake out, but make sure you get subscribed. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day with what I'm seeing. Crazy, crazy week ahead. I'd be lying if I knew exactly what was going to happen, but we're monitoring this as best as we can, making the best educated guesses as we can as to where the markets are. And technically, according to the way it looks, I think it's going to be a little bit rough, but we may have that one more possible push. So there is definitely some whale manipulation going on, some crazy games. I've heard some people speculating that the institutions are selling. It does kind of look a little bit like distribution right now, I'm not gonna lie, but there is still that possibility of that one more push to the upside. Will we get it? I don't know, but there is that chance that they would want to fake out both the bulls and the bears. Now, I still believe that there is a possibility we could retest upwards of around the $28,000 level, but the biggest question is right now is, are we going to retest that CME futures gap first and follow on that uptrend, or are we going to have the fake out? A lot of things are riding on this week, and like I said, I would be pretending if I knew what was going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but having a look at past history, it does still look like even though we are losing a bit of that money flow, there may still be that opportunity for one more push to the upside. But like I said, guys, a lot of it is going to come down to basically what happens this week. So we're kind of in that no man's land right now. If you guys do want to get subscribed, make sure you get subscribed to the channel, because I may have to make another update later on today. Every time we see these price moves, I'm just going to keep updating you guys throughout the week. So the videos may come out at strange times. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. If you like these shorter videos, even though today was a little bit of a longer video, but nevertheless, guys, you're awesome. I love you. Enjoy the start to your week. It is Monday. So that being said, until next time, stay crypto. And of course, if you haven't checked out this tutorial popping up right here, right now, check it out. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.